Stadium set for 7 p.m. this evening. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 67 degrees at 9:59. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Parker Washington!
Parker backs up, fields it at the 15-yard line. Made a man miss, 25-yard line, 30-yard line. That's good return by Parker Washington. Still on his feet, 50, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
Parker Washington did exactly what he was doing at the end of the season all through training camp. He was balling.
Parker Washington open field, 50, 45, 40, 30, along the right sideline. Cuts it back to the middle of the field, 20, 15, now back to the right side, to the 10-yard line. Parker Washington to the 10-yard line of the Denver Broncos.
Just done an awesome job with every opportunity he's gotten, and now you look at his role and what he's been doing for our offense. It's been huge, and just his ability to run every route, to run after the catch, all those hidden yards that he's finding after the catch has been really big for us. So we got to continue to find ways to get him the ball.
Caught for the touchdown. The ball's going to be caught. Touchdown. Caught for the touchdown. Parker Washington caught it in the left corner of the end zone.
I feel like a big thing for me too is that connection with Trevor. Continue to see that grow. Continue to get closer with him. It would be nice to continue to build that connection and continue to become closer, not just as a teammates, but hopefully we can be closer friends as well. That helps.
He's one of the first guys in the building every single day. He's soft-spoken. He's quiet, on the quiet side. He doesn't really talk smack. He doesn't really say a ton all the time. He just does. And he's a baller.
Running room for Parker Washington, 45, 40, 30, along the right sideline. Parker Washington, he's going to bring it back. Parker Washington, touchdown Jacksonville.
When you get those opportunities and you make the most of them in them rooms that you're not in, and those conversations I had with the quarterback and the head coach, the one who called the plays, they're going to start dialing specifically for you. Understanding what your strengths are and what you're good at and what you can do, they're going to put the ball in your hands.
Parker Washington is an absolute stud.
Now, Jaguars Today on 1010XL with Mike Dempsey, Fat Tony, and RJ Saunders.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Happy Tuesday to all out there. Jaguars Today, ready to get rolling. Today is a big day, Tony, for a number of things. Don't forget, free MLB TV begins today for you T-Mobile customers. I want to remind you that I don't get anything from T-Mobile out of that. Just download MLB TV and enjoy for the year.
Yes, sir.
Watch your team get underway here in the next few days. One of these days. I like playing the first day. I don't like then having the next day off. Never understood it. Never got it. You get all these, rainouts early. Why don't you just play when you can play? I never quite got it. But
the Braves don't even open till Friday.
Friday. Oh,
yeah.
Oh man, you watch all these other teams play. I would not enjoy that one single bit. All right, today the focus, of course, on your Jacksonville Jaguars. It is Tuesday. We got a top five for you. A little bit different format for the top five this week. RJ Saunders comes in here despite the fact that the Orlando Magic took one on the chin to the arguably worst team in the NBA. How do you lose to a team that's tanking as badly as the Pacers, RJ?
I think that's just been the substratum of the entire Orlando Magic season.
Did you say substratum?
Yes.
Of the entire Orlando Magic season?
Yes.
Is it like a microcosm? Is that similar to a microcosm?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's been the whole thing. I mean, from injuries to, not taking teams seriously to maybe there's a problem at head coach. I have no clue. But, I mean, everything is, quote unquote, supposed to be in front of that ball club. And they should be playing with a sense of urgency, but they're not. I think they're frustrated with the season. To be honest, I think they want to go home now. They don't even want to play in the play-in.
Oh,
so
perfect.
There it is.
There you go. Keep it up, and you'll get your wish as far as that goes. All right. Today, Tone, we often rank, top five things from Jaguar Dumb on our Tuesday top five. We go into the substratum sometimes to do that. But today, we got five guys who are eligible or likely or coming up or potentially could get, however you want to phrase it, a contract extension this offseason. 5 pretty key players for your Jacksonville Jaguars. So today, the top 5 is simply asking you to put those in the order of priority for you in terms of the Jaguars retaining these guys, Tony. This is not a tough or not an easy task. It is hard. All these guys have great cases. I think I've seen just about every single one of these listed as number 1 on somebody's list so far. Well, a little surprising to me. There are 1 or 2 that don't rise to the same level of the other guys for me, but that's why it's all about your opinion today. So we're asking you to rank Antonio Johnson, Anton Harrison, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, and Travon Walker in the order of 1 being the most important, the most you'd like to hold that guy back and retain that player here in Jacksonville. Tony, the Jags tried to add Jake Bobo, and Seattle matched it. We got a good 1 day's worth of questioning out of Jake Bobo, the situation here on Jaguars today. But, you know, it's always disappointing when you sign a guy and somebody matches it, but this is why the transition tag doesn't get used very often, and this wasn't a transition tag. This was a free agent tender that was placed on that gave the Seahawks the right to match it. And it's tough because the guy has a certain value. The Jags are not the type, they're not going to overpay him just so Seattle doesn't match, right? So if you're a fiscally sound organization, you sign a guy, you recognize his value to a 2-year deal, it's going to be tough unless you're absolutely breaking the market to get a team that already had that guy, knows how well he fits into their own ecosystem to match that kind of opportunity.
Yeah, 2 years, 5.5 is obviously not going to be enough to
big
scare
NFL
off
money.
Seattle, right? And, the Jags were bringing him in for obviously a very specific role. It's the role that he's been playing in Seattle now for a number of years. They see the value in the role, and they say, look, it's worth that, right, for us to get him back. So, look, if you feel however you want to feel about the Jags having negotiated the deal for Seattle, essentially, I don't care. That's just the way the league works. That's the business of the NFL. Seattle wanted to match it.
That the contract took a whole lot of effort to put
and
together.
If it got flipped and this was a Jaguars player that you felt had that kind of role, and he was a restricted free agent the way that he is, and someone else signed him to an offer sheet, and you were like, yeah, we'll do that. Right? Like, you'd be like, yeah, that's just business.
Yeah. I don't think most people were bothered by the size of the deal. It is, you understand these kind of deals happen, and, $5 million, who's Jake Bobo? All right. I get in the larger realm of the NFL. Sure. I get it. It's $5 million, but you're going to, he would have fulfilled a very specific role for this football team. It was interesting. There were some going, oh, this is ridiculous. The Jaguars are spending this money on Jake Bobo. Well, the team that just won the Super Bowl decided that contract was well worth matching and bringing him back for the same dollar. It doesn't mean the Seahawks are always going to make the right move, by the way. Just because they happen to win last year doesn't all of a sudden make them, without question, the best organization. They're just the ones holding the trophy right now.
They are.
I don't know who the best organization is in the National Football League, quite frankly, other than the Jacksonville Jaguars, of course. But, I think a lot of people would point to the Rams as being a consistent contender, but, they won 1 Super Bowl, and it was by the skin of their teeth, in this era. So, and a lot of teams have matched that or done better than that in some cases. So, anyway, let us know today your thoughts on these 5 guys. I believe only one person that I've seen with the reply so far today has the exact same order that I do, and that's kind of the thing. Look, somebody's got to be 5th on a list of 5 guys. I'd like the Jags to find a way to bring all these players back. I mean, they could all be long-term contributors. They're all the right age range, right? They're all in their early to mid-20s, some of these guys. I mean, it's unbelievable how young some of these players are still at this point in time. So we'll get into that a little bit today. Josh Edwards from CBS Sports going to join us coming up about an hour from now, Tone. He did a 2-round mock within the last week, had the Jags going interior offensive line with their lone 2nd-round selection. So that was interesting. Pete Prisco's got a mock. It's only a 1-rounder. Didn't do the Jaguars any justice in it. But I just found it interesting because there were 1 or 2 guys in his first round that I know we have mocked along the way to the Jacksonville Jaguars in some of these mock draft Mondays. And, again, we're relying on kind of the software that we're playing with at any given time. And it's impossible to know what any NFL team, all it takes is one to fall in love with a guy. Jags taking a look at a small school prospect. We'll talk about that today as well. And Field Yates got a multiple round mock out there. We got several things to dig into on the Jaguar front. But the main thing is the Tuesday top 5, where you've got Antonio Johnson, you've got Anton Harrison, you got Parker, you got Strange, you got Travon. Those 5 guys, prioritize them 1 through 5, 1 being the highest priority in terms of them getting a contract extension to stay with the Jacksonville Jaguars. If you want to discuss and make your pitch for any one of those players in particular, or maybe a case against one, as the case may be, 641-1010. We'll get you in on the Key Buick GMC phone lines or the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures. You can stream us on Facebook, on X, and on YouTube. And you can also find us on the socials at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, and at R has no J. All right, off and rolling today. We've got it. Tuesday top 5. We'll begin the discussion coming up in this hour. And also, I mentioned a small school prospect, Tony. Incredible athletic profile. Hard to find any college production. I'll tell you who we're talking about when we come back in a moment. And you know, just showing you that the Jags are sweeping out every possible corner, leaving the no stone unturned, as the cliche goes. And,
it is the season.
It is that time of year, no question about it. All right, Jaguars today, off and rolling on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for Big Number 1 Duval Ford. You know it's truck time in Jacksonville as those F-150s are rolling off the lot all month long. You can get your own brand new 2025 F-150 at Big Number 1 Duval Ford. No money down, no payments for 90 days, 0% interest for 60 months. That's right, new F-150, 0 down, 0% for 60 months. See all the deals now at DuvalFord.com, or just swing by their showroom. Big Number 1 Duval Ford, 1616 Cassett Avenue. It's truck time at Duval Ford.
Jaguars today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
Tell me, do you remember anything?
Happiness. And you know what happiness is? Happiness
is 1010XL.
Okay, good tip.
March is full of upsets, but your oil change shouldn't be one of them. Don't gamble with your time in a waiting room. Go with a proven winner, Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment, stay in your car, and a full-service oil change in 15 minutes. That's why Valvoline has a 4.7-star national rating and was named #1 quick lube in America by Forbes for customer service. Make the smart pick this March. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, easy, and built to win.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to ITPPartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success.
Scholar athletes prepare themselves to win at life.
1010XL and Southeast Orthopedic Specialists shine the spotlight on the Scholar Athlete of the Week. Wednesdays on The Frangie Show. Checked by
the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234.
Picking here, oh boy, you know I love a good flash sale, and we got one right now from Zero Res. This week only 15% off all cleaning. It's International Cleaning Week, baby. Carpet, air ducts, tile, grout, upholstery, hardwood, area rugs, and more. Be the household hero and book now. Call 287-5727. Flash sale this week only for 15% off all cleaning from Zero Res. Tell them Dan sent you. Zero Res, spelled backwards and forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res. Meet John and Ben Lupo, first and second generation owners of Jacksonville's Beards Diamonds.
We can do things that these corporate stores cannot do. Make decisions on the spot. Our pricing is better than anybody else's. We do not do commissions.
We really try to keep it a family environment, relaxed. We're not trying to sell you what we want. We're trying to listen to what you want.
In fact, don't be surprised if you end up spending less at Beards than you had budgeted, because they're going to teach you how to buy a diamond like a dealer buys and show you how to buy smart.
If we can can save the consumer money, we're all about that. If we can achieve the same look, the same quality, and for them to spend less, that's what Beards is built on.
Why pay more if you don't have to?
Dad always taught me from day one is you got to look at the diamond. You can't just buy off the paperwork. Rather than us just saying, hey, this one's $7,000, the other one's $10,000, we're going to tell the consumer why this one's $7,000 and why this is $3,000 less, but almost looks identical.
Don't overpay at the Wall Street-owned corporate chain. Get the transparency and value you deserve at Beards at St. John's Town Center.
Hey gang, Prosser here. Have you been thinking about selling your home and you haven't pulled the trigger? Let me tell you about Chad and Sandy and the experts that will help you make that decision. Mortgage rates have dropped. They're expected to move lower. Home sales momentum is building, so now's the time to get your home ready to maximize your sales price. It's time to call Chad and Sandy, the proven experts to sell your home. Need to sell now, need to sell fast, need max price. Check, check, check. Chad and Sandy have the science behind it. Using their proprietary Market Max system, Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Jonathan writes from Mount Pleasant. The only thing standing between me and my dream of hitting the road in my RV was selling my Mount Pleasant home. After hearing Chad and Sandy on the radio, I gave them a call. The results were unreal. In just 3 days, I had multiple offers at full asking price. So can you. Call the local experts I trust and recommend. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200, or chadandsandy.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Put your loving hand out, baby. I'm begging.
Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, so, Tony, I don't know much, if anything, about Easton Butler. Do you know Easton Butler?
Is that a town in Pennsylvania?
It could be, right? You think it sounds like Easton, Butler, and the surrounding areas, right? There sound like there'd be a few of those spots up there. Easton Butler is a guy who writes for Packer Report. Okay, fine. And he covers mostly Packer draft visits and meetings.
Okay.
All right. So, I mean, he legitimately is out there. You look at his timeline, it's full of smaller school prospects or kind of not highly hyped prospects, what they're doing at their pro days, who's meeting with these players at their pro days, right?
Sure.
It's kind of like his little niche. He's got about 10,000 followers on social media. So he put up a post that said, West Florida linebacker Colby Taylor had an insane pro day today, speaking with the Jaguars there. Okay, so Colby Taylor, probably nobody here has heard of him. Okay, I haven't heard of him. I didn't even know West Florida was school. I mean, honestly, like the West Florida football program, maybe, right? Okay, sure, I'll take your word for it. I don't know anything about that level of play, and that's fine. I'm not James Gladstone. It's not my job to go through the weeds on every single small school prospect.
Right.
I think this is a big referendum, though. You look at a guy like this. How much do you trust this front office, analytics-driven to some degree, looking for certain guys that fit certain profiles to fit what they do? And everyone should be doing that to some degree, right? But, Tone, like, could you imagine? And just to add the possibility could happen. At pick 56, talk about Anthony Collins and Jacob Rodriguez and all these linebackers that we've mocked to the Jags or seen mocked to the Jags. By the way, Prisco has Jacob Rodriguez somewhere in the 20s in round one. So the likelihood of all these guys being available is probably not very high. Anyway, we pass up that guy for some corner that we haven't talked about. And that doesn't mean he's a bad player. And we take Colby Taylor in the 4th or 5th round because we think we found something. But say, all right, lose this guy, Colby Taylor. Well, here's the insanity of his pro day. Okay, they use the relative athletic score thing, which compares him to all the prospects that have come before in the era that they've measured these guys. And generally, this relative athletic score doesn't go back into the 20th century, I don't think. I think it goes back like the last 20 years or so, and it keeps it's expanding, but it's time consuming to add all these things to the database. Anyway, that's the way I understand it. Had he put these numbers up at the combine, Tone, he would have had the best bench press of any linebacker at the combine by 4 reps. All right. By the way, he's listed at I've seen him listed on the school website at 6'3", 260. I think he measured in at a little under 6'2", 250. All right. So it whatever, but still at 250.
Yep.
He had the best 10-yard split in the 40 of any linebacker running. Would have had the fourth best overall 40 time. His short shuttle would have been first by a wide margin. Would have been number 1 in the 3-cone drill, second in the vertical leap, third in the broad jump, and fourth overall in the 40 with a 9.99 relative athletic score. Colby Taylor. I mean, that's as good as it gets. They don't give you a 10.
No, yeah.
I mean, that is the highest score you can get.
So what was he doing to tear up Division II?
So in 2024, because I'm seeing stats here, in 2024, 46 tackles, 14.5 tackles for loss, and 7 sacks.
7 sacks. That's in 2024.
Right.
What about last year? You got last year's handy?
I do not have last year's.
I on the team site, because I just Google Colby Taylor, West Florida. And, it took me to the player page. And I found him listed there, and I clicked on it and said he played 11 games, and he had 8 tackles, 2.5 sacks. So, look, it seems like if he had, what do you have, 7.5 the year before, RJ, you're saying?
Yeah, 7 sacks a year before.
7 the year before. He's probably, the Jags will look at him as like a BJ Green, a young designated pass rusher they might be able to get on the cheap that they could mold to their, but isn't that weird? Played 11 games? How is a guy who can have a pro day put up such, you got the baseball, I did the same thing, right? It's hard to find him, right? Yep. It is just hard to find numbers for him, but I found the West Florida site. That's not him either, spelled differently. There are a bunch of Colby Taylors out there. But it's just interesting for a number of reasons. One, never heard of this guy, obviously, right? The production profile is curious. Like, if you told me you got a guy who is as athletic, just in pure athleticism, as any linebacker who's gone to the combine in recent years, and he played at West Florida, I think the guy put up 15 sacks before he broke a sweat.
Right.
I mean, he's got to dominate that level, isn't he?
Because he started at Newberry College and then, I guess, transferred
to West Florida. Yes.
Newberry in South Carolina.
You and I are looking at the same guy. Whether we found the right Colby Taylor, RJ, I don't know. But we found the same Colby Taylor, you and I did. But isn't that and how does this guy even get on your radar, right? Like, how many West Floridas are out there? How many football playing schools are out there? And if you've got a front office, now I get it. Most, look, Clean Gene, right? Gene Smith, love those small school guys. Colorado School Mines. What? We're gonna learn how to lay some dynamite and get a new coal vein going here. I don't know. I've been watching too much Justified lately. But anyway,
if this guy hits, let's just say Jacksonville gets him, and this guy hits, I mean, you got to give a raise to your scouting department.
I mean, you got to give at least a gold star.
Yes,
right, something.
Right.
But
you're the only team that met him at the pro day.
I was the poster child for behavior modification as a kid. You give me a gold star or a sticker on my paper, man, bro, I'm like, yeah.
Did you guys used to have the card system, like green card, yellow card, red card?
Yes. What?
Yeah.
You talking about what?
Like green meant good behavior, yellow meant
that was like in our grading system. Like green was green and red were like the highest level of competency. Like when we'd have a reading unit. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You'd read at the blue level. Maybe you'd read at the red level, and everyone could do the same work kind of at the same time, even though they were on different levels kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know what that has to do with Colby Taylor.
Well, you were talking about behavior.
I know. I'm going way off the path here. I'm not blaming you, RJ.
I like following you.
Bro,
you veer over. I hit my turn signal too.
I mean, this guy looks like Tony should be an absolute athletic freak, and let's plug him in, and who knows? Maybe he will be. Maybe he'll be on the Jags' radar.
Something else?
I don't know. That he only has those numbers?
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's listed as a linebacker, and again, I would think he's more of an outside linebacker in a 3-4, with those the numbers that he's put up. But regardless, if you're looking for a designated pass rusher on third down, it doesn't really matter at that point in time. Can the guy beat the, third best blocking combination out there because Josh Hines Allen, Travon are going to draw theirs, and hopefully we'll get some push up the middle this year.
Yeah. Like, I just wonder with a guy with those kind of athletic numbers, why the football team wouldn't be trying to exploit it, right? If he was available
at West Florida.
Right. Like, it just doesn't make much sense.
Right. A guy built like that at West Florida, you could probably be like Miles Jack. You know, you could probably play a decent amount of running back
unless
as well.
he's a baseball player that just plays a little football.
But he played 11 games.
I know. Like, that's...
He played and a baseball player...
Nothing about it makes sense
6'2", 250, not really built like a baseball player.
It's a big guy.
Right? I mean,
maybe he likes rugby. I don't know.
I don't know what the answer is to that. But James Gladstone has a better idea.
Riddle. That's
so
why
I'm
you talk
thinking
to him.
I'm thinking I found his Twitter.
Okay.
Colby Taylor 56, and he's retweeting a lot of stuff. So apparently he has received interest from the Saints, the Seahawks, the Panthers, and the Commanders during the pre-draft process. And yeah, he's just, hey, thank God that, like the agency he signed to is giving him opportunities to
he's one of these smaller school guys that's creating some buzz. He's a freak of an athlete. And they will overlook because, look, what pick are you going to have to spend on a linebacker out of West Florida? Now, who knows, right? Because that's part of it. You find a guy and you're like, I really want this guy because we're going to show the world just how smart we are. And I think he'd be a good fit and all that. Do you talk yourself into that? I think that's got to be a danger. I would be very bad at stacking a board. I'd come in one day and the guy I have at 70, I'd be like, nah, I feel like he's 32 today. I just would. I'm not the guy you should hire as your GM at all. But it's got to be somewhat difficult, right? When you find a guy that you absolutely love and you're like, do we take him here? We have him graded as the 102nd best player. Do we take him at pick, in the Jags case, 81 or 88 or whatever? Or do we wait for 100 and hope he's there? And how much do we covet this guy? But it is interesting that he is getting, I found the same one there. That does look like that is his account, RJ. So just an interesting name and an interesting profile. Lists himself as 2026 draft class athlete is what he describes himself as, with less than 580 Twitter followers right now. I could have just said 579, but that's where he's at.
Supposedly he's done also like a profile with somebody. I guess somebody interviewed him from NFL Draft Diamonds. What's your favorite defensive scheme and why? 3-4 or 4-3? Because I excel at any outside linebacker scheme, being able to play.
His answer was 3-4 or 4-3, or the question was 3-4 or 4-3?
So the question was, what's your favorite defensive scheme and why?
Okay.
His answer was 3-4 or a 4-3.
Oh, really?
Because I excel
one or the other one.
Because I excel at any outside linebacker scheme. Being able to play outside the box or on the line is something I have always excelled at. He also had further comments saying that he can also get a lot done on special teams as well. I'm a high quality and character man who's willing to do anything to win and get it done on special teams.
Yeah, the post you put out there about him, and this may be a guy that we never talk about again, right? Never makes it through an NFL camp. Who knows? Or maybe he does. But the post you're looking at, RJ, or that you brought up, was from February 19th. So this is going back, and that's where he said he received interest from the Saints, Seahawks, Panthers, and Commanders, among other teams in the pre-draft process, and they listed him as an edge right there. But it's kind of like saying, where do you think you'll make your biggest impact in the league? I don't know, offense, defense, and special teams. Those are what I feel like I'm going to really excel
do
at.
it all.
Those three phases are my three strongest phases of football. 3-4, 4-3 defense, and
like
maybe
Travis
a little 5-2.
Hunter can get away with that kind of thing. I'm not sure that Colby
I don't know
can.
if Colby can, but I get it. He's trying to
I can play running back.
He doesn't want to limit himself, right? If he goes, hey, man, I'm a 3-4 outside linebacker, then maybe that's the majority of teams don't play a 3-4. So why limit yourself? But crazy athlete, man, and just kind of shows you the length that the Jaguars front office is going through to kind of comb the weeds a little bit for the next big thing, or at least a thing that can help this football team. So we'll see how it goes. He is currently not followed by anyone I'm following on Twitter. That Colby Town. I'm going to follow him just for fun and see what happens. Then he's going to be like, ooh, look, there's momentum in Jacksonville.
I have to do an interview with Jaguars today.
Or not. Maybe we'll get him on at some point. But 9.9, you don't see the 999 relative athletic score very often. So that is intriguing, and you think that there's a guy with some hidden upside.
I just went to go look, and Colby is not on the Pro Football
He's not.
Network
You can't
mock.
draft him?
No.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Because we're going to take him now. Priority undrafted free agent.
Free agent
would be preferable. I doubt with that many teams sniffing around him, somebody's not going to take a chance. I mean, someone along the way will spend a 6th or 7th round pick, you would think, at least on a guy that everyone has shown that much interest in. Anyway, just an interesting name that I was not aware of prior to yesterday. Easton Butler. Again, the account, it looks like Easton with 2 underscores and then Butler. And that's about what he does, is he posts about these kind of prospects. All right, let's come back. Let's dip our toes into the Tuesday top 5 waters. Start kind of debating who are the guys who are all 5 of these legitimate candidates to be number 1 on the list today. We're talking about 5 Jaguars that are extension eligible. What is your priority ranking of how you'd like to see the Jags approach getting those guys signed? We're talking about Antonio Johnson, Anton Harrison, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, and Travon Walker. Share your thoughts with us, and we'll share ours with you coming up on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey for my friends at Dandy Foods, locally owned and operated by the Thompson family in Jacksonville since way back in 1956. The Thompsons are a Jacksonville family. It's a Jacksonville company. I've talked about Dandy's outstanding products for well over a decade now on this program. Personally enjoy them for about 3 times as long. Dandy is absolutely the perfect go-to when you're in a hurry and you don't want the hassle of a long wait. You can't go wrong. Great value compared to the drive-thru. Fast, fresh, always tasty, and waiting for you in the cold case at convenience stores all over town. As a matter of fact, right down from Everbank. Talleyrand Food Mart carrying a great selection of Dandy sandwiches. Sam and Gus, the proprietors. You know what? I wonder if any of our favorite big cats ever sneak down there, grab a steakhouse burger. That's just one of the many options. Usually over 30 different Dandy varieties to choose from when you pop into an area convenience store. So, Dandy, absolutely the name to know when you're hungry and you're out and about. So when you are in Duval, do what I do. Go out and make yours a Dandy. And do it today.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
What if every day felt like a private resort in your backyard? Premier Outdoor Inc., Jacksonville's #1 pool builder in the 2025 Best of Bold City Awards, creates entire outdoor living spaces, not just pools, custom pools, heated spas, summer kitchens, cabanas, fireplaces, screen enclosures, and more. Veteran and first responder owned, turn your backyard into an unforgettable retreat. See what you could build at premieroutdoorinc.net. Premier Outdoor Inc., a visionary of hardscapes and aquatics.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Tell me if this is you, because it's definitely me. I go to bed thinking, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up early, jump in that ice bath I just bought, have a good breakfast, go for a morning walk, and order a veggie for my side instead of fries. Then the morning arrives. I press snooze, skip everything else I planned because I'll do it tomorrow. But that's the Awaken 180 difference. Tomorrow is today. It's so easy. You want to do it. Your coach will be there to help you do it. You won't want to let her down. Accountability, ease, feeling great. That's the Awaken 180 difference. Now you can download an app, Google a weight loss plan, or buy the latest gadget. But who actually helps you follow through when you couldn't do it before? I lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, and it was easy. No meds. I couldn't lose 5 pounds in a month on my own. Awaken 180 works, and it continues to work because it's set up to not let you fail. Succeed like we did at awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey, I've got that craving again. How about some Mr. Chubby's wings?
Have you had the Chubby style wings? Grilled to perfection with Chubby's secret seasoning.
You know I have. They are so delicious. I swear you can't find anywhere in town with better wings and better prices on drinks.
So many different specials each night, too. Well, I'm ready to chub it up again.
Me too.
See all their specials at MrChubby'sWings.com. Locations on Fleming Island, the West Side, and Ponte Vedra Beach. Mr. Chubby's Wings, before the game, after the game, and during the game.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focus, fueled, fearless, Farah. Jaguars today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
All right, here we go. Jaguars today. Caleb Banks, broken foot. You had him in your mock last week. RJ had him in his mock last week. I had him in my mock, one of my mocks this week. How would you feel? What do you think the overriding emotion would be if the Jags turn, if he's available, first of all, and the Jags turn to the card with Caleb Banks out of Florida, defensive tackle. We all know the athleticism is off the charts. We also know the injury risk that comes with it. How would you feel? What do you think?
My gut right now would be okay.
Like, how would you describe? Nervous?
It would be a nervous
questioning.
I trust that they are getting whatever medical eval they want, right? Like, I would trust that they've done enough of their homework to be comfortable with whatever the medical is going to say. But I think even without the medical, he's a really difficult player to figure out, right? So
Does the production match the athleticism?
Right, like that kind of stuff with him. There's a bunch of questions. The injuries add another one. So if they were to pull the trigger on that at 56, my reaction would be, okay.
Right. You'd be like, I hope you're right.
Yeah.
I have some confidence in you, but that doesn't mean you're always going to be right. Boy. Like if they took Jacob Rodriguez there, the linebacker, right? And he was available as well. You go, oh, okay, that makes sense, right? Yeah. We need a linebacker. He could probably step right in and start. Yeah. And we hope you pick the right one, but I got a pretty high level of confidence in this guy, right? I'm the same way. I think a lot of Jaguar fans would be like, there's plus and minus.
There are a lot of things that make him a boom or bust prospect.
Okay.
Yeah.
RJ, how do you think you would feel? Similar?
Yeah, I'd probably say okay, but I mean, I think Tony said that he's saying he'd be ready by June, July?
June. I think is what he's hoping. So you don't know.
And then I'm sure he'll probably say, like, listen, hey, my foot's fine. Just need to go through, like, just a precautionary procedure, and, I'll be good to go.
All right, so how do you think you personally would feel? How would you?
I mean, there would be some excitement, but I just know for me as well, like the foot thing is like, okay, there's a reason why you dropped. Is this going to be like a long-term issue? I hope not.
So you're a mix of potential and concern, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, got that feeling. You imagine how you're going to feel if he happens to be available at 56 and the Jags take him. How are you going to feel if he's taken off the board at pick 28 by the Houston Texans?
No, they have to deal with it.
They do,
yeah,
but
that's your problem.
I might feel like, I feel
what
like.
Do they know that we don't?
Or maybe that they don't know more than we know. We just didn't have a pick anywhere near that we could have gotten the mix.
Caleb Banks is the most terrifying kind of draft prospect.
Yes.
He is the injury stuff, the production numbers really, when you go back and look at the stuff that he did in college, aren't really there. Like his best season was a 4.5 sack season in 2024. He had 21 tackles all year for a guy that they were moving all over the place to try to find matchups for. Like,
Colby Taylor's like, that's a lot.
Right. But this guy he's such a complicated eval that someone's going to take him at some point.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think my reaction to that would be, damn it. Because the pendulum could go, I don't know where it's going to land.
Yeah.
It's going to land on the upside side of the swing, and if it does, I don't want him in the AFC South playing against me, I guess.
It's an Anthony Richardson type pick. It's like, I hope it doesn't work out for you. Right? Like when the Colts made that pick, it's like, I understand why they're willing to go out on this ledge, but I hope you fall off of it. Right? And I think Caleb would be the same thing if he landed in Houston.
It was just, I'm going through Prisco's first mock of the season, and he says, tear me apart, as he loves to do. And he said he's going to do another one in a couple weeks, and then he'll do a few during draft week. But I just found it interesting going through. Again, we are not draft experts. We're enthusiasts, right? So I come across names, I'm like, damn, we're getting him at like 81 sometimes.
Right. And I think it is, with Caleb specifically, it's interesting and gives you a real picture of how rare guys that can play 3 technique and move around actually are. Right? Like, even in the NFL draft, right? Like, anyone who gives you any kind of promise of he may be able to give us some pass rush from the inside, everyone's like, well, maybe a first-round pick.
Maybe a first-round pick. Has had broken foot twice. Yeah, late first round.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, that's what it is. So let me just go through a few points here from Prisco. Had Mendoza obviously going number 1. Arvell Reese going to the Jets. David Bailey going to the Cardinals. Reuben Bain to Tennessee. Oh, please.
He have the short arm.
Please. Yeah. I mean, he may be a good. I'm not afraid of Reuben Bain.
No.
I think, like, Reuben Bain's ceiling is he'd probably be a pretty decent pass rusher, but I think his floor is you missed, and this guy can't physically do all the things. And I understand his style of play may mitigate the short arms, and I've heard all the arguments for and against, right? But I'd be okay. Yeah. With somebody in our division taking that chance on Reuben Bain.
For the world, smells like a guy that's a 4 to 6 sack guy his whole career. Like, that's what he feels like to me.
Yes, and fine. If you want to take that in the top 5, go right ahead. Yeah. Sonny Styles at 5, Carnell Tate, the wide receiver out of Ohio State. So we had 3 Ohio State Buckeyes in the top 6 right there. And then I think this is absolutely, Jeremiah Love will not get past Washington. I agree with that. I've been saying that from before free agency, when the Saints and the Chiefs both filled their need there with Travis Etienne and Kenneth Walker, respectively. Caleb Downs, another Buckeye in the top 8. 4 Buckeyes in the top 8. And Indiana won the title. Francis Mauanoa and Jermod McCoy out of Tennessee round out the top 10. Tone, last week I had R. Mason Thomas somewhere in the Jags mock. Might have been at 56. Pete has him going 12. Right? So and this is more just a slap like, hey, wake up. You're not going to get all these guys that we're coveting necessarily in that range. We have definitely mentioned Jacob Rodriguez a good bit. Coveted him in some of these mocks, and Prisco's got him going to Dallas with pick 20, right? So, again, not going to get close to you if it goes this way. Who's your guy out of UCF there, RJ? Malachi Lawrence? Yeah, long gone. Pick 22 for Prisco. 22 for Malachi Lawrence. And edge rush, man. People covet it, right? Kobe Taylor getting visits out there. By the way, Ty Simpson going to the Browns. Really?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
3 quarterbacks in 2 drafts? That's what's going to happen? Really? Ty Simpson into the Browns? I don't know, man.
Competition.
I don't know.
Dan Orlovsky said he's the best quarterback in the draft.
He absolutely did. Dan Orlovsky, as it has been plastered all over social media, also shares an agent with Ty Simpson. So, I mean, I don't know. That doesn't mean he's given his honest opinion of it, but got to at least be fully transparent on that kind of stuff, or at least an agency. There's Banks. He did have Banks going to Houston at 28. That's what kind of like I saw that. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want that. Anybody else that we typically select? No. But there were 3 guys, and then Banks, who was kind of a wild card at this point in time. What do they have the Colts do? Colts don't have a first-round pick. Yeah, that's right, because the Sauce Gardner deal. So
I mean, that's just really interesting on the Malachi Lawrence front, because I think PFN had him around 58 to 62
what
range.
Does PFF have him at? Because I think they do. Anecdotally, I think they have a better feel for ranking guys than Pro Football Network. Although Pro Football Network upgraded their software, man. They've gotten a lot nicer scouting reports, all that kind of stuff. Who were we just talking about there a second ago?
Malachi.
Oh, yeah, Malachi. Edge. Give me an edge. Edge defender. Bailey. Keldrick.
They have him at 61. I'm just seeing on the mock draft simulator.
They also have R. Mason Thomas at 47. Pete's a guy who does dance to the beat of his own drum. I mean, that's fine. He's got him going 12. Doesn't mean he's right. It's just, as we kind of prepare our minds for certain names to be among the ones the Jags can choose from, don't get too locked in, too focused on any one in particular.
Yeah.
Derek Moore at 65.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, who knows with any of these guys, Tone? Pass rush, always coveted.
It is.
And what happens. Yeah, I do think we've seen, though, with the Jags last year, like reports came out afterwards, they like R.J. Harvey. Well, they didn't want to just take running back at pick 60. He was gone. They said, you know what? Value's not here. They moved back and accumulated more picks and basically punted on that
later.
So right, and then they addressed it in the 4th round with Basil Tootin. We'll see if it works out. All right, let's take a timeout. If you want to get in, you know the ways to do it. It's 641-1010, primarily on the Key Buick GMC phone lines. We'll come back. We got to get into today's top 5. We got Josh Edwards from CBS coming up at about quarter after, about 30 minutes from now. So a lot to do. In the meantime, Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, and RJ Saunders here with you, talking Jag Ball on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today for the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Get Florida Gators play-by-play on 1010XL.
Gators baseball is back in Jax. It's the Florida Sunshine Showdown. Florida State, live at the baseball grounds tonight at 6 on 1010 AM.
Have you got concrete or asphalt rubble piling up? Arcosa Crushed Concrete will pay you for it and recycle it. They're just minutes from Everbank Stadium on Talleyrand. Call Arcosa Crushed Concrete and get paid for what you don't need. ArcosaCrushedConcrete.com.
It's Mike Dempsey. If you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5StarBathSolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
You don't think this would be a good moment to text somebody?
There's never a bad moment to share your opinion on the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Share your opinion
As soon as possible.
at 641-1010.
Lauren Brooks here, and if you're getting a tax refund this year, here's a great way to use it. Invest in new tires from Big Chief Tire. I've trusted the Parman family for years because they always take care of my car like it's their own. New tires make your ride safer and more reliable, and that's worth every penny. Schedule the best service in town at WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 and put your refund to work.
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you, on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides, and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
Stop letting high-interest debt weigh you down. Pay it all off in days with Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan. It's a completely hassle-free way to cash out your home equity with no appraisals, no paperwork, no waiting. Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan uses AI-driven technology to get you approved for cash in as little as 1 day with a rate that's at a 3-year loan. One client got $100,000 approved in under 24 hours, wiped out all their credit cards, started a home improvement project, and cut their monthly expenses by $1,500. Call Loan Pronto now and see how much cash you can get. No hard credit pull up front. Imagine, this time next week, you could be credit card debt-free. Loan Pronto, A-rated by the BBB, with nearly 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. That's 999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Attention men and women. If you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our 2-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
Yeah, who's my newest Twitter follower, RJ? I'll give you one guess. Who you got? Who's following me?
The soon-to-be newest Jaguar, Kobe Taylor.
Kobe Taylor following me, baby. There you go. Follow him. He follows you right back, right there. Kobe Taylor. We're watching you, buddy. I will unfollow you so quickly if we don't take you or sign you in the draft process.
Mike, he could be listening in right now.
Good luck. I hope he does. I hope he comes in and crushes it. No one else has joined me on the bandwagon. I am his 580th follower. So good luck to you, Kobe Taylor. We'll be I got at least somebody to keep an eye on now from the outskirts. All right, let's get Dominique up real quick on the north side. Then let's rip through today's top 5. I don't know how much debate we'll have to get into. We'll talk about our decisions coming up in hour number 2. Dominique, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, boss man. How y'all doing?
We're well.
Good. Yes, sir. All right, so my question, it was kind of like a follow-up to what y'all was just talking about with Caleb Banks.
Mm-hmm.
And personally, it does make me a little nervous, but I still feel like I want to take him. But I'm trying to see what would be the difference. Granted, they didn't draft him, but what would be the difference, at least, what's the word I'm looking for, comparison-wise, I guess, between Caleb Banks and Mason Smith coming out? Because both of the injuries are extremely scary. Both had high ceilings, but that kind of gives me a little pause, and I was just trying to figure out the difference. So what would you expect to be the difference between the two?
That's a great question. You would hope production, right? I think anecdote in my mind, Tone, going back, and Dominique, appreciate the call. I don't think there was any buzz about Mason Smith even being a high second-round pick, you know, when the draft process began. I know he got hurt very early on at LSU. And initially was talked about as, here's a guy who one day will be the number 1 overall pick, or at least a candidate for that kind of thing. And then by the time the draft rolled around, I think people looked at him, hey, he's interesting. I don't know. I just feel like there's more buzz about Caleb Banks. I don't know that he'll be better than Mason Smith. I understand what you're saying here. To me, Mason Smith is not an issue with injury, Tone. It's a head scratcher because physically there shouldn't be much he can't do as an NFL player. And he was getting raised for the way he was comporting himself and practicing and preparing his body all off season until he got hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came back. He got cleared. They said, "Nah, it's bad luck," and here he is. Yet, but he couldn't do anything. So I don't know. I don't think it's unfair. I think that would be one that, even though a different regime, front office drafted him, you'd say, are we just going to get another disappointment, basically, at this position? And other than the fact that they play a similar position, I mean, it's not fair to Caleb Banks or to Mason Smith. They're not the same guy, I was intrigued by the Mason Smith pick. I'll be honest with you. I still am intrigued as an athlete by Mason Smith, but I have zero expectation for him at this point in time. But that it's a good, pick 56, Tone. I'll be more comfortable taking him there. But I will have some trepidation if you're selecting a guy who has had a second major foot injury in a short period of time.
Yeah, I think their college production is similar, right, between the two guys. When you go back and look, Mason had only the 3 years there at LSU before he declared for the draft. So he had 6.5 sacks in those 3 years and 47 combined tackles. So it's similar. He's a little bit more of a tackle guy when he was at LSU than Caleb Banks ever was during his time at Florida. I think everyone is in love with the measurables and a little bit of the tape that they've seen with Caleb Banks. So he's getting a lot of the hype he's getting.
Big, explosive men at that size are hard to find.
It's just hard to find it. And
he worked out well with a broken foot.
He did.
For gosh sakes.
It's a foot that's been broken twice now.
Right. Anyway, I mean, Dominic, by the way, I'm not saying 100%. I will have trepidation if the Jags take him, but I'd have a lot more if my team was taking him in the 20s right now. I mean, imagine, but if the Texans take him, I'm going to fear the upside because I do think the upside is considerable, and I will hope that he won't hit that.
He'll have a lot of help on that line if that's where he lands.
It is a much tougher proposition to take him in the 20s than it is to take him in the 50s. No question about it. All right, RJ, hit us up.
Number 5.
All right, let's rip through today's countdown, and then we'll discuss it coming up in the next segment here a little bit. Today, we're asking you, the Tuesday Top 5, to rank these 5 Jaguars in order of the importance it is to get a contract extension done with each. So number 5 is going to be the lowest priority. I got Antonio Johnson on this list at number 5. RJ?
Antonio Johnson.
All right, let's move on. Let's continue.
Number 4.
All right, number 4 for me is Anton Harrison, Tony. I'll go into my reasoning for that coming up, but I've got him at 4. Who do you have at 4?
Parker Washington.
Parker's at 4 for you. What about you, RJ?
Brenton Strange.
Brenton Strange is at 4 for you. Interesting. So we will have some different kind of lists here. Next.
Number 3.
So simple. Parker Washington for me at 3.
Brenton Strange.
Brenton Strange.
Anton Harrison.
Anton Harrison. Okay, continuing.
Number 2.
At number 2, I put Brenton Strange.
Travon Walker.
Trayvon.
Parker Washington.
Parker Washington. And then
number 1.
That by process of elimination, I have Travon Walker left. Tone.
Anton.
Trayvon.
All right. So we 2 or 3 have Travon at the top of the list. I have Anton at 4. Tony has him at number 1. I know one of you guys had Brenton at 4, I think. I got him at 2.
Got him at 3.
Right.
Yep.
So these lists are a little bit different. So we'll get into our rationale behind that when we come back in a minute. And coming up in about 20 minutes, Josh Edwards of CBS Sports has a mock out in the last week. 2-round mock. It's Jags going offensive line in round 2. We'll talk a little draft coming up with Josh. I don't know if he knows anything about Colby Taylor, but you better be prepared to get asked about him. That's coming up in about 20 minutes. More of a look at the Tuesday Top 5 straight ahead on Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
For the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. 1010XL. Starting the day with sports.
You can't beat me.
You are a laughingstock.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
Because I'm a winner.
You are a joke.
Mornings
I'll always be a winner.
These people are laughing at you.
on 1010XL.
You have no ability, nothing.
Feel the rush of lighting up something truly exceptional. This Saturday, March 28th from 1 to 4 p.m., step into the ultimate cigar experience at Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road. Join us for an exclusive Aganorsa Leaf cigar event featuring incredible Aganorsa Leaf cigar deals, great food, and exciting prizes. Bring your friends, relax, and enjoy an unforgettable afternoon. Because at Tobacco Cove, it's more than a cigar store. It's an experience.
Hey, Hicken here. I couldn't be any happier than to join the George Moore Chevrolet family. When I say family, I mean it. Visit their beautiful showroom today off Atlantic Boulevard. Find out exactly what I'm talking about. No pressure, just friendly help. And whether you want a car, a truck, SUV, electric, pre-owned, you name it, George Moore Chevrolet has it. And if you can't make it over to Atlantic Boulevard, no problem. MooreChevy.com is easy to navigate as any site you will try. It's never been more easy to use. George Moore Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
If you've been in an auto accident, you can count on the experts at San Jose Collision to return your vehicle to pre-accident conditions. San Jose Collision can also provide a fresh paint job to freshen up your vehicle or completely change its appearance. They can paint and repair all foreign and domestic cars and trucks. When quality and professionalism are important to you, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Hey, this is Lauren Brooks, and if you think Closets by Design is just closets, you've got to see their brand new showroom at Phillips and Emerson. It's amazing what they can do. See for yourself how they custom design organization for any space. Garages, laundry rooms, bedrooms, even the man cave. It's all about smart storage that fits your lifestyle and budget. Schedule an appointment to meet with a design consultant and tour the showroom for ideas you can see and touch. Start at closetsbydesign.com.
Save big and head to Ronnie's Repair on Sunbeam Road, your local sales and servicing Toro dealer, for their spring sales event this week. Ronnie's offers the full line of residential and commercial Toro zero-turn, stand-on, and walk-behind mowers in gas and battery options. Get groundbreaking savings on Toro Time Cutter, Titan, and Z-Master zero-turns, Grandstand multi-force stand-ons, and walk-behind mowers. Take advantage of the Toro 0% financing or Toro rebate on select mowers. Stop in this Wednesday through Friday to check out great deals and amazing finance offers. Ronnie's has everything you need to make your lawn look the best in the neighborhood. For more details on spring sales event deals, visit your local Toro dealer. Ronnie's Repair on Sunbeam Road. Browse the entire Toro line at ronniesrepairshop.net. All handhelds and accessories will be 10% off during the spring sales event.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Ticket here for Action Garage Door. Nothing more frustrating than your garage door misfiring. When it does, I call Action Garage Door. They take action. Jeff and Art and crew, Jacksonville folks, not some big out-of-town chain. Something goes wrong with your garage door, take action. Check them out. Garage Door 911, GarageDoor911.com.
Here's your 1010XL local sports update, sponsored by Awaken 180 Weight Loss. The Seahawks shut down Jacksonville's bid for Jake Bobo, matching the Jags' 2-year offer to keep the young wideout in Seattle. Florida names Tammy Reese its new women's basketball coach. The Rhode Island leader who took the Rams to their first NCAA tournament in 30 years heads to Gainesville to rebuild the Gators. That's your 1010XL local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
Right now, 66 degrees at 11:01. Time and 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, the Tuesday top 5, a little bit of a different twist. We didn't ask you to come up with 5 things. We asked you to rank the 5 players that are extension eligible that we're going to be talking a lot about this offseason for the Jags. So instead of working our way from the bottom up to the top, you had Anton Harrison in the top spot.
Yeah.
RJ and I had Travon Walker in the top spot. Give me your case for Anton Harrison being the most important guy to get a deal done with.
I did look with 4 of the 5 guys. Spot Track had a market value estimation on him. The only one they didn't is Antonio. Right, so that was at least in my mind when I was going through some of this, but I'm ready to stop talking about Anton as a left tackle until he plays it at some point. But offensive tackle is a hard position to replace on either side. I thought he responded exceptionally well to the comments made by his head coach last offseason with the way that he played last year for the team. They still have the 5th-year option on the table to extend kind of the timetable on figuring this one out with him compared to the other 4 guys specifically. I think it gives him a little more flexibility. The likelihood isn't for that extension to get done isn't why he's number 1 on my list, but I think it does speak to where I think internally in the building, if they were putting together a list like this, I think Anton would be at the top of it.
Okay.
Given the positional value. And if you look at what the contract would probably be, Spot Track has the market value at 18.9. Again, these numbers are always a little bit low compared to what they wind up being, but an extension likely lands higher than that, say 23 to 25 million a year.
Right. It would have to, because the fifth-year option starts over 19.
Yeah, which is basically what Titus Howard at 23.5 or 22.5, and he's the third highest paid right tackle right now is getting. And that seems like a pretty fair number for Anton to have one of your tackle spots locked down for the next 5 years. That's the easiest path that I see to any of these deals even getting done, I think, is Anton Harrison.
Okay, I'm not worried about the ease of the deal. For me, I'm focusing more on the importance of assuming we could get the deal done.
I think the ease of it getting done speaks to the importance of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, fair enough. RJ and I both had Travon Walker in the top spot. For me, I'll look at it this way. Like, do you rank offensive line as a major need for the team at the moment?
No.
I do not either, right? And we talked about it, and this just happens to be the circumstance they find themselves in. They could probably roll with the offensive lineman they have and do a relatively decent job. You have Josh Hines Allen. You have Travon Walker. Where does edge rank among your needs? Pretty high, right?
Yeah, top 3 or 4.
And that's with having two guys who've had multiple 10-sack seasons on your roster. I just think, we're sitting here looking at we need more edge now. And is Travon the perfect guy? Is he Aiden Hutchinson? No, he's not Aiden Hutchinson. He's not Myles Garrett. He's not these things, but he's better than a lot of what you're going to get. He does fit this team in terms of work ethic and, locker room fit. And I think that has to be with all these guys accepted that going forward. But he does. And I just think that this is, you can play all of your edge rushers. You can't play all of your offensive linemen. And granted, if Anton Harrison went down, there'd probably be a follow-up. Right now, if you had to play Walker Little there. But look, Cole Van Lannon went from being a career backup to being a guy that they feel comfortable enough to give starter money to after just a few games. I just think it's harder to find pass rush ultimately than it is to find a competent offensive lineman. I'm not saying that you can find a Penei Sewell very easily out there, but I don't think Anton Harrison is that either. So for me, it's positional scarcity. It's the production he's already shown. And even with the makeup of the team they have right now, they still need more at that spot. Yeah. So I can't see letting him walk out the door.
Yeah, I have Travon at number 2 on my list, right, as opposed to 1. And I think the complications with trying to get a deal done with Travon is why I couldn't put him at number 1.
Okay.
Because if I were to rank these like on a scale of 1 to 10 on how likely these players are to get an extension with the Jacksonville Jaguars, in my mind right now, I think Anton's like an 8 or 9. Like, I think it's very likely that they're going to get something done with Anton. Travon in my head's like a 3 or 4. Like, the money, I get the position, but the market is going, and what Travon is going to demand is Travon Walker a $35, $36 million a year player? Because that's the price you're going to have to pay.
Is Anton Harrison a $25 million a year player?
Against his other right tackles, I think he's in line with them.
Okay. To me, I'd look at it this way. Granted, you want to get
right. It's the Jalen Phillips just got $30 million a year.
Yeah, but that's the mark. How do you replace that?
I understand
if you've got a guy who's already shown you he can do 10 sacks a couple of times.
Yeah.
If you don't pay that, you're like, we can't. Where are we going to get a third pass rusher who can get us 5 sacks? That's where we're at right now. Imagine if we had to get another one who had to get us 10 or 12.
Totally.
And I look at it this way too. Like, yes, 36 is more than 25, but at the same time, you're going to blow whatever. Just pretend you blew $10 million on another De'Ami Brown. It's going to happen at some point, right? Like, I'm not that caught up in the difference in money because I don't think Travon's going to get top of the market at his position. I don't think Anton's going to get top. Well, he might get top right tackle money. I don't think he's going to get top left tackle money. Anyway, I had Travon at the top. You had him number 2.
Yep.
RJ had Travon at number 1. Who did you have at number 2, RJ?
Parker Washington.
You had Parker. Tell me why you had Parker that high.
The reason why I had Parker that high is just due to the fact I think the conversation in which we had, and when, like there were, just a multitude of guests on, especially one Mark Ross from the NFL Network, he wanted to see Trevor have an allotment of talent around him so we can see what he can do. And I think when we saw the upswing from one Parker Washington, you're saying, okay, if Liam Cohen is saying we're going to build this entire thing around Trevor Lawrence, you can't take talent away from him. Now, I understand, like, if you can't pay Parker, that's one thing. It's the same thing kind of, with ETN. You didn't think that the number was significant enough for you to go out.
But that's the thing. You're kind of putting yourself in the mind of the team saying, we got to find a way to pay some of these guys.
Yeah, no, I think you have to, based off what we saw last season, if we're able to see it for a full year from Parker Washington, I just believe that that's a guy you have to say, listen, we have to figure out some way to keep this guy.
I do agree with the sentiment that I don't want to take away weapons from Trevor Lawrence if I can help it, right? Because that is ultimately the most important part of your football team. Anton Harrison protects him, but I have Brenton Strange at number 2, partially for that reason, but partially because I don't think there are many guys like him out there. There are a lot of move tight ends. There are a lot of blocking tight ends, physical guys, the Johnny Munts of the world who don't give you much, if anything at all, in the passing game. For this team to play the way they want to play, and for him to bring the ferocity as a blocker, as a blitz pickup guy, as a run game, plant you on your back kind of guy, and pretty damn good receiving outlet in the middle of the field for Trevor Lawrence, and I feel like they had good chemistry. I just think Parker had a great year, okay, or something to build on. I think I could find this year there are, 10, 12 receivers that are worthy of the top couple of rounds. How many tight ends are you going to find? And then when you find them, are they this guy? None. Are they the complete package? I just think Brenton Strange, the more we go down the line, I look at as harder to replace than a lot of the guys on this football team, to find the makeup of the combination of skills that he has.
Yeah, I had him at number 3. I almost put him at 2 above Travon, right, in my head because of that kind of thing. But you look at the Spot Track market value on him has it at 12. Right, a year, which if you look at where that would put him, Dalton Schultz, Jake Ferguson, Cole Kmet, it would make him the 10th highest paid tight end in the league. Top 5, Isaiah Likely is the 5th highest tight end in the league as far as AAV right now at 13.3.
I'd pay that right now.
Right. Kyle Pitts is 4th on the list with the franchise tag at 15. The franchise tag next year is a projected 17.7, transition 14.9. The player and the money make this one, I bump it up. Right,
because it makes a lot of sense if you can get him for under 17.
Right, he's got so much value to this team. Now, we saw what they did on offense when Brenton Strange wasn't available, and what they basically did was say, then we don't have a tight end. Right, like that's the way that they basically...
Or not one we'll throw to.
Right,
yes.
Like they're just not in the offense in the passing game right now, and they were comfortable running their offense without that kind of thing, which makes it a little stickier of a situation because it does feel like they're comfortable if they have to go that direction with it. But is Brenton Strange worth paying the premium to not have that question mark?
And Parker, when you compare them head to head, no matter what your plan is right now, in the back of your mind, you can go, I can slide Travis Hunter in there. Yeah, I mean, I can't. I have Travis Hunter, and Brian Thomas,
like,
and Jacoby Myers.
Like right now, the draft we're getting ready for right now, where there's not a whole lot of depth anywhere, there is a wide receiver.
At wide receiver, right.
And it feels like there is every year. Right, like every year there are just going to be so many wide receivers. Not that they're going to be able to replace Parker directly, but you do have options at that position where at a bunch of positions you just don't.
All right, well, you heard how we prioritize those guys. Continue to send in your list of who you have at the top all the way through number 5. And that's not a shot, by the way, at Antonio Johnson.
Not at all.
Had a terrific breakout season. Doesn't play a position that is as valued. Plus, they've, the Caleb Branshaw factor. Don't know what we're going to get out of him. He's a bit of a wild card. And, you got to rank somebody 5th here. Yeah. And Anton, too, you do have the 5th-year option with Anton, and that factored in to some degree with me. I can kick this decision down the road with him.
Give some flexibility
as well. So, anyway, they're all important. Will they be able to retain all 5? Not likely, right? So how do you see it? What's the order of importance in getting extensions done with Antonio Johnson, Anton Harrison, Parker Washington, Brenton Strange, Travon Walker? Coming up next, Josh Edwards of CBS Sports talking draft on Jaguars Today here on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars
Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Wonder what it was like to be there for Tom McManus's audition.
We try that line again, and this time like you mean it.
I'm not an actor. I'm a martial arts guy.
On Helmets and Heels.
Okay, cut.
Weekdays 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
And that concludes the Joe C. Jack of all trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
and drainage too.
Nimnik Chevrolet is proud to be an 8-time Chevrolet Dealer of the Year recipient, the only dealership in Northeast Florida to ever win this prestigious award. Trust me, I know this. I've been dealing with Nimnik forever, and they really are that good. You know, for 3 generations, Nimnik's been the place customers keep coming back to. Customers like me, treating you right, giving the most back to our community, more choices and better prices. It's just the best place to buy cars, and I can promise you that. So who gives you the best experience when you're buying a car? Nobody but Nimnik. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
Find out what it's like to live Florida Gators basketball with Gator legend Patrick Young.
They want Patrick Young.
Dan and Jeff team up for Time Out with Patrick Young, taken by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. And Kuhn Flowers, Friday morning at 8:30 on 1010XL.
The new Ackerman Cancer Center is now open at World Golf Village, providing state-of-the-art screenings and diagnostic exams with no referral required. Same-day appointments are available. Call today or visit AckermanCancerCenter.com.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
The price of gold is soaring and the price of silver is near record highs. If you got gold or silver just laying around, Estates Roadshow wants it. Broken chains, old rings, coins, watches, diamonds, vintage jewelry. If it's valuable, they're buying it. No appointment needed, just walk in. Get a free appraisal and walk out with cash. They're also buying pre-1964 silver coins, flatware, sterling silverware stamped 925. They're buying coin collections, gold, silver, foreign, and domestic. Plus, they've been in business over 35 years with thousands of happy customers. Licensed, bonded, state-certified scales, highest tech equipment, employees with GIA certification. The Estates Roadshow is happening in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance, Sunday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more info, call Marshall at 609-781-6559 or go to estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming events.
The First Coast Games is an annual team building challenge to introduce fun activities into the workplace and focus on your employees' health and wellness goals. These goals include some friendly competition, of course, including pickleball, cornhole, volleyball, flag football, and other team sports. The games will begin in March. Register your company and teams at fcymca.org.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Pickett here. For nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools has been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools. Summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
Hey, it's Brent with Arcosa Crushed Concrete. If you've got concrete or asphalt rubble on your site, let me buy it from you, and I will recycle it into construction material for your future projects. Arcosa Crushed Concrete. Get paid for what you don't need.
1010XL, presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, time to talk a little draft as we turn our attention back to CBS Sports. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith here with you. Josh Edwards joined us a few weeks back prior to the players talking draft, and he has a recent mock out that went the first round, but did show you what he saw the teams that did not have a first-round pick, such as your Jaguars, might do with their first selection. So we'll get into that with him today, and he joins us right now. Josh, thanks for a few minutes this morning. How are you?
Doing well, yeah. I've made it a point to include the teams that don't have a first-round pick because we have 5 this year. So I feel like I would be isolating a good percentage of the fan bases if I didn't make that adjustment.
Right, it's so crazy. Like, all we want is a little red meat, right? It doesn't even really matter who you put there. Just give us a pick, man. We want a player for our team. But I did find it interesting, and we'll talk about some other stuff too. But it's tough, I would imagine, to project pick 56 if you're not projecting picks 33 through 55, right? You're kind of guessing on who might be available there. But it was just interesting to us that you went with Keelan Rutledge out of Georgia Tech, an interior offensive lineman, where we don't see that as a massive need, but, down the road, Ezra Cleveland's in the last year of his deal, kind of what was this a best player available type situation, or do you think this is a need that isn't being discussed as much as it should be for Jacksonville?
It's a combination of both. I think it's probably more of a need than maybe fans want to believe at this point, but it is also a little bit of a future projection at that position. As you noted, Ezra Cleveland potentially not being with the franchise beyond the coming season. But it was primarily kind of a best player available, like the player that I thought would be available in that range that kind of matched with some of the needs that I saw for that organization. I would have loved to have given like a defensive lineman, but it's kind of like in this no man's land in terms of the guys that I think, would be possibly in that conversation were already gone at that point. And it was, the next group of guys, I didn't necessarily want to take that early. So just kind of the way that it played out in my head, Rutledge was a guy that I thought was good value, but also represented at least a need in the future.
Talking about defensive line, what is your evaluation of Caleb Banks? And have you heard anything to give you an idea of how the foot injury and surgery might affect where he winds up going in the draft?
Yeah, I don't get into medicals too much. I try to leave it strictly to play, which is difficult with a player like Caleb Banks because it is such a difficult evaluation when you consider how limited he was this past season. I think the foot injury has to be taken into consideration because it's a lot of weight, a lot of pressure on his lower body, which is something that he's going to have to deal with throughout his career. There's so much, so much pressure that is put on that lower body when you're playing in the trenches. And I think teams are going to have to weigh, just how important that is going to be for them. But I think when you look at the player, I mean, his size is just, it's out of this world. It's tough to come by. Other than Deion Walker, you have to go back to like the Marcus Strouds of the world to find players that are, in a similar size vein. So this past year was really interesting, of course, because he wasn't available very often. But when we saw him in 2024, this was a player that looked like he could be a first-round player. And I think in this year's draft class, where we're kind of lacking those true blue-chip players, you can at least squint at Banks and see a path where he does become one of those players. So I'm not saying that he's going to be necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but it only takes one team to pick him in the first round, potentially, even in the top 20, because I do think the athletic traits that he brings, the size, it's just going to be difficult for some teams to ignore.
Talking here with Josh Edwards of CBS Sports, a little NFL draft. And Josh, what you guys attempt to do is not easy. We play around with mock drafts every week. There's simulators out there. We'll knock out a few rounds for the Jags. But it's tough to know unless you've got the breadth of knowledge exactly what's likely to be available for you. Case in point, did a mock last week, and R. Mason Thomas out of Oklahoma was available to the Jags in the 3rd round, okay? Yeah. You note that edge rusher is an area of need for the Jags, but unless an explosive option like R. Mason Thomas falls, there might not be the value there. Pete Prisco, your colleague at CBS, had him going 12th in the draft. Like, bro, I have no idea where he's coming off the board. But as a general rule, should we expect more edge rushers that whatever number we put on, say, like 7 edge rushers by the time pick 56 comes along, should we just add a couple because of the need league-wide to get pass rush.
I think it's certainly possible, but it also works the other way too, where if you're sitting there in the first round and you're saying, hey, we have a couple of needs, and one position that we're considering, maybe that's, running back or something, is not necessarily deep in this class, you're thinking to yourself, okay, let's get that running back now. We feel better about the edge rush talent that's going to be available to us on day 2, if that's the path that we choose to go. So I could see that being part of the consideration as well. But with this class specifically, it's really interesting for 2 reasons. At the top, we really lack those blue chip players at premium positions. Some of the guys that you feel most comfortable with are playing linebacker, safety, running back, which are not positions that we typically see in the top 10 overall. And with this draft class, I do think that, ranges on players are going to be all over the board. I think it's going to be an incredibly volatile year where the actual draft strays heavily from the consensus boards that I think a lot of people, have made themselves aware of or acquainted with over the past month or 2. So it's going to be a really interesting draft. But I do think edge rusher, with the depth that we have in this class, you're probably going to see, double digits going in the first 2 days of this year's draft, because the talent is that good at the position.
I see a lot of tight ends being discussed as receiving prospects in this year's class. The Jags put a premium on blocking from their tight ends. Who are the best kind of blocking or more balanced tight end prospects in this year's group?
Yeah, I really like Nate Borkirker from Texas A&M. He's somebody that is probably going to be known as more of a blocker. And I think there's a role for that in today's NFL. If you look at what Buffalo did last year with Jackson Hawes, I think Hawes is going to make a player like Riley Nowakowski from Indiana some money, because you saw the way that he was able to impact the game without necessarily being the one that was targeted on the play. He's just an exceptional blocker, willing to do the dirty work. And I think those kind of players are becoming more important to NFL teams. So blocking is going to be important. I can see teams reaching a little bit to get one of those players. And then Sam Roush, I thought he was a good blocker out of Stanford. And then you look at what he did from an athletic perspective at the NFL Combine. He tested really well. So if you're talking about a player that has a high floor as a blocker with some of the athletic traits that could potentially be more, that's the type of profile I've seen the Rams take in the past. And, of course, Liam Cohen having, roots in Los Angeles, I could see that being a player that they look to target somewhere on early day 3 is probably where he is at this point. But you never know. I mean, they've got those 3 third-round picks at this point. Perhaps he's able to get his way into day 2.
All right, speaking of day 3, all right, I just hired Josh Edwards. I put him in my scouting department, and I need you to stand on the table for a day 3 prospect on offense and defense. Josh, who is the guy? It doesn't matter what position they play. Give me a guy on each side of the ball that you think is going to turn out to be a lot better, or maybe more teams are in on as a day 3 prospect than we're led to believe at this point in time.
Yeah, I'll start with the defensive side of the ball, and this, may pertain to Jacksonville because he is a defensive tackle, which is a position that they can look to address over the course of this draft. I really like Nick Barrett from South Carolina. He's kind of a more stout defensive tackle. He's somebody that, is not necessarily going to rack up the sacks over the course of his career, but you kind of know what you're getting with him. He's somebody that you can trust down in and down out. I just look at him and I think this is a player that if he were still playing in 10 years, it would not surprise me. And we're not talking about him as a day 2 pick, even though that's kind of where I envision him at this point. So if somebody's able to get him on day 3, I think that would be incredible value at that point. Let's see, offensive. I'm not in love with any of the quarterbacks this year. I'm trying to think. There's probably some obscure offensive linemen that I really like in this class. The tight ends, I'll say Marlon Klein from Michigan is somebody that is relatively new to the position. He grew up in Germany. He made the transition to the United States. And I think you've seen him get better as he's become more comfortable playing the position. So if you're kind of playing the long game in terms of what he could be in the future, he's somebody that I could see teams, possibly taking a little bit earlier than where he's listed on the consensus board, because you feel like maybe there's a little bit of untapped potential left within that frame.
The mocks are a little bit divided on where Jeremiah Love is ultimately going to land. It's going to be somewhere, it looks like, in the top 7, though, for Love. Where do you think he will wind up going here in a month?
I've kind of settled on 3 teams and really 2 teams that I'm kind of keeping an eye on there in the top 10 overall. And, this is a conversation that goes back to free agency. We saw the Saints, who are sitting there at number 8 overall. The Chiefs, who are sitting there at number 9 overall, both went out and spent big on running backs in free agency. And that kind of led me to believe that maybe they felt Love was not a lock to be available to them in the first round. So to me, I'm looking at the Titans, who, could potentially give Cam Ward another outlet, so take some of the pressure off of him entering year 2 at number 4 overall. And then I look at the Giants, who I think is probably the third of these 3 teams that I'll mention as being a possibility for the same reason. They have Jackson Dart. You put another explosive running back there, and that's able to take some of the pressure off of him. But I don't know if they'll go down that path because recent history with Saquon Barkley. And then the third, who I think is going to be incredibly intriguing, is the Commanders at number 7 overall.
Yeah.
They're a team that really looked at adding to the running back position this offseason. I know they explored the possibility of taking a running back in last year's draft. So I think Love makes a lot of sense for them, with Jaden Daniels coming off a difficult season, battling those injuries. Now, if you can kind of give him this explosive element to share the backfield with him, similar reasons to Ward and Dart, you're able to take some of that pressure off of him in a very important third year. So I see all 3 of those teams at least having an argument to taking Jeremiah Love within the top 10 overall.
Yeah, I think you're right about Washington. That's like the last spot. He's not getting past 7 in my estimation.
Right.
We'll see how it goes. I do think that's kind of the cutoff point for him right there as well. And I wouldn't doubt that the Saints and Chiefs probably sensed that they weren't going to get that shot at him, and they got a lot of holes to fill. All right, Josh Edwards, we continue to appreciate your work over at CBS Sports. Thanks for the time today, and hopefully we'll be able to catch up with you once or twice more before the NFL draft rolls around in late April.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's less than a month away now, so it's going to be here in no time, but always a pleasure.
Thank you, brother. There he goes. Josh Edwards of CBS Sports. You can go check out his mock over at cbssports.com. Prisco's got a new one out today as well, so check those out. Tony will take us around the NFL. When we return, we'll look at some of your submissions for the Tuesday Top 5 as well. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM. Hey, folks, Mike Dempsey here for 5-Star Bath Solutions. I only like to promote companies that I trust with my own stuff, my own house. And 5-Star absolutely helped us upgrade from our old dingy bathtub to a beautiful brand new walk-in shower. The whole house feels better thanks to 5-Star Bath Solutions. You can check them out for your next project. I priced them around, and they come out on top on customer service, price, and just overall satisfaction. 5starbathsolutions.com. That's 5starbathsolutions.com.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Superior products, exceptional service. Winters are mild.
All the time?
All the time?
Summers are hot.
The beach.
And everything in between is awesome.
Amazing, isn't it?
1010XL. This is the Duval life.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Feel the rush of lighting up something truly exceptional. This Saturday, March 28th from 1 to 4 p.m., step into the ultimate cigar experience at Tobacco Cove, 3849 Bay Meadows Road. Join us for an exclusive Aganorsa Leaf cigar event featuring incredible Aganorsa Leaf cigar deals, great food, and exciting prizes. Bring your friends, relax, and enjoy an unforgettable afternoon. Because at Tobacco Cove, it's more than a cigar store. It's an experience.
Some auto shops love giving your wallet a flush every time you visit. Not AA Automotive. They fix only what needs fixing, nothing more. Honest, fast, and fair. That's AA Automotive on Richard Street. Boring name, awesome service, and no wallet flush.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Pro soccer lives here. So be there when Sporting Jacks brings 90 minutes of pro speed, finesse, and edge. Home to Jacksonville at Hodges Stadium. See it live. Feel the energy. Join the action. Sporting Jacks is at home March 25th. Season tickets with seats starting at just $10 per match. Call 904-863-KICK or visit sportingjacks.com. This is history. Sporting Jacks. Pro soccer, pro Jacks.
I was born in Louisiana.
The Legends 90th birthday celebration. Live. Buddy Guy, 90. Saturday, August 22nd, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com.
Save big and head to Ronnie's Repair on Sunbeam Road, your local sales and servicing Toro dealer, for their spring sales event this week. Ronnie's offers the full line of residential and commercial Toro zero-turn, stand-on, and walk-behind mowers in gas and battery options. Get groundbreaking savings on Toro Time Cutter, Titan, and Z-Master zero-turns, Grandstand multi-force stand-ons, and walk-behind mowers. Take advantage of the Toro 0% financing or Toro rebate on select mowers. Stop in this Wednesday through Friday to check out great deals and amazing finance offers. Ronnie's has everything you need to make your lawn look the best in the neighborhood. For more details on spring sales event deals, visit your local Toro dealer. Ronnie's Repair on Sunbeam Road. Browse the entire Toro line at ronniesrepairshop.net. All handhelds and accessories will be 10% off during the spring sales event.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
Well, the golden moment, obviously, when Colby Taylor not only followed me back, but we've had quite a delightful exchange in the direct message zone there, Tony. We slid in to each other's DMs, and Colby Taylor is excited to be coming on Jaguars today, sooner rather than later.
At some point, yeah.
We're going to work it out with his agent, and just the guy that the Jags have shown a little interest in. Yeah, well, maybe he'll be an interesting guy. Maybe he won't. We'll find out. Why do you only have 8 tackles in 11 games?
Yeah.
Colby Taylor. You don't know what you're getting into here, buddy. Now, interesting prospect. Great athlete, obviously, with the relative athletic score. He's such a polite guy. Thank you for the opportunity. You just said you're more than welcome. Happy to have you come on. So hopefully we'll do that before the end of the week. We'll get that all knocked out. All right. In the meantime, Tony Smith has news from around the NFL.
Now, gems around the NFL. Brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
Seattle has chosen to sign wide receiver Jake Bobo to the offer sheet that the Jags gave him over the weekend. 2 years, $5.5 million, $4.5 guaranteed, $1.75 million in the signing bonus. Kansas City has signed tight end Travis Kelce to a 3-year, $54.735 million deal. $40 million of the deal becomes guaranteed if Kelce is still on the roster on June 8, 2027. So this, in reality, looks like a 1-year deal designed to spread the cap hit over the next 3 seasons. New England has released quarterback Josh Dobbs. and signed offensive lineman James Hudson to a one-year deal. Pittsburgh is signing running back Travis Homer, and Tampa is signing linebacker Christian Roseboom. Roseboom spent last year with Carolina, where he led the Panthers in tackles, but was considered a bit of a liability in coverage.
Yeah, will be interesting. Levante David press conference this afternoon. Expected to hang up his jersey.
Yeah.
So to say, I think he played 14 years in the league. Was always a multifaceted guy. Would get interceptions, would get sacks. Stuff in the box score a little bit. And we found out this year, Devin Lloyd, only the second player in the last 20 years to have 5 interceptions and 10 quarterback hits, and Levante David was the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just kind of a good all-around player. I don't see Levante David holding a 2 p.m. press conference for another reason other than to announce his retirement.
Probably not.
That's my guess. Anyway,
Yeah.
All right, here are some of the responses. Who's the one player who didn't get a first-place vote, you think, from the responses I've seen in today's Tuesday Top 5?
Antonio?
Parker Washington. No, I'm sorry. Brenton Strange. Brenton Strange
okay.
was the one. Antonio did get one, assuming mostly it was, I'd say, about 60-40 Travon Anton in the top spot from the people who replied. Let's see this one here. This is very close to mine. Travon Strange, Anton Parker, and Johnson. Usually Antonio Johnson came in the 5th spot, although somebody did list him at number 1. On here, let's see if they just said Antonio Johnson, Parker, Strange, Walker, Anton. I almost feel like that's backwards, right? Like the big guy. It makes you wonder: did they list them in reverse
1 to
order?
5, yeah.
5 being the most important. But look, those linemen, the big body guys, are tougher to replicate. But same time, you want your quarterback to flourish. You got to give him some familiar weapons and guys that he gels with, and that's why I had Brenton Strange 1 spot higher. It's going to be fascinating to see how the Jags prioritize these guys, Tony.
Yeah.
And I don't think necessarily the order is the order of priority, right? Sometimes it's easier to get a deal done with one guy for one reason or another.
Yeah, I think they could get a deal done with Antonio Johnson right now, probably at 3 years, 24, if they were willing to offer it. Right,
I would be very interested in that if I were the Jags.
Right,
if I could get that right now.
But it does feel if he has another year like he had last year, right? If his role does expand, he played 60% of the defensive snaps last year for the team, and had the 5 interceptions. Was really
let's say
productive.
He plays 80 this year,
right? Caleb Bransall, we don't know what that role is going to be. Does the extension? I think right now you might be able to get away with the 3 years, $24 million. But if he has another year like that. Now are you having to think more, I don't know, closer to 40 over the 3 years, something like 3 years, 39? I think that's right where Jalen Petrie is in Houston right now.
Petrie's an interesting guy, too.
Right. Had a monster rookie year.
Then he kind of got benched. He's played nickel. He's played a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Good player, but
he's getting 13 a year.
He's getting 13 a year, right? That's what I'm saying. You got to get out ahead of some of these right now. Parker, if he plays for a full season the way he played in the last, say, 6 games,
you almost just have to wave goodbye.
You might have to at that point. And depending on how you feel about Brian Thomas at that point, Jacoby Myers signed a 3-year extension. Oftentimes those are really 2-year extensions, that you're going to rip up in that 3rd year. And you do. And Travis Hunter is a big X factor here to factor in this whole thing. I mean, he was the guy that prior to his injury last year, they were getting ready to feature in the passing game.
Yep.
So to think that he couldn't, as a former Blitnikoff Award winner with his athleticism, give you a lot or more even.
Yeah.
The question is, how do you feel about splitting that workload now after 1 year and you've got needs on the defensive side as James Glasson let out? Of course, that's now, right? Here's what the depth chart looks like right now. He told us over a month ago. It's pretty easy to figure out where we have a bigger need. That depth chart could change by the end of the year. Parker walks, Tony. Who knows? Maybe you draft a corner this year in the 4th round who plays a lot better than you expected. And, all of a sudden, Monteric is really clicking in this offense, and maybe you need to grab a nickel at that point, and who knows, maybe the pendulum shifts back to the need being greater on offense for Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I think them getting the deal done with Buster Brown kind of changed the math on maybe what they need from Hunter even right now. It could, because they still have the draft to come. Say they get there at 56 and the guy at the top of their board's a corner, right?
Sure.
And they bring that guy in, and if you're bringing him in at that point, odds are you're bringing in a guy that you think can start
or at least
now.
compete to start now.
Right. So if that's what they wind up doing in the draft, then how much does that sway Hunter back to being a bigger factor on offense? Then maybe we think he might be
Are
right
there
now.
enough touches on offense,
Right.
though, to make him
Like it's
that impact? I don't know what the answer to all that is. I think
the puzzle is a complicated one.
I think it's going to be very hard for me to see anybody taking a 56 starting at corner over Travis Hunter.
Probably.
For me.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if that's a great. If you feel like you've got Travis Hunter and that's where he's going to be most impactful for you, and you just re-signed Monteric Brown, and you've got Jordan Lewis, and you've got Christian Braswell. Am I forgetting somebody here? I feel like I am. Oh, Jarian Jones.
Yeah.
Right? You've got that group. Yeah, you're probably going to add one or two corners along the way. Do you have to do it at pick 56? I don't feel that
But
overwhelming
if you do
need
it,
right now.
If you do it at 56, it's likely going to be because he will start for you. Right? Like, it does feel like that.
Because you feel he could start for you, sure.
Right. It's not that we're going to draft a corner at 56 because we need one. It'll be, we like this guy. Right? Compared to the other options that we have at this point in this draft, it would be that kind of thing. And it does change the math on what to do with Travis Hunter, at least to some degree. Am I comfortable with Hunter being a full-time starter on defense for him? Yes.
Sure.
Right? Like just sprinkling him in on offense, that kind of thing here for his second year in the league. Yeah, I'd be very comfortable if that's what winds up happening with him specifically. But there's still the opportunity for that plan to change. Like it has the opportunity to flex a little bit.
All right, let's take our final time out here, come back, and with some wrap-up thoughts, get you ready for XL Primetime coming your way. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
When your home or business deserves more than ordinary glass, you trust the experts. Capital Glass and Shower Doors has been elevating spaces for over 40 years with precision, craftsmanship, and clean, modern design. From sleek frameless shower enclosures to elegant glass railings, wine cabinets, and any custom glass that makes a statement, Capital Glass delivers unmatched quality, service, and attention to detail. Your vision, their expertise. Capital Glass and Shower Doors at capcoglass.com.
Homeowners, you taking a look at your lawn yet? Let me guess, you're looking at your lawn wondering what to do after a historically cold season. Well, if you want your lawn to bounce back quick, you gotta call topdressing.com. Nobody else can do what they do, their proprietary process. I've never seen anything like it, and neither will your neighbors. They will have your lawn looking like a golf course. Nobody else can do it. They're no secret now, so get ahead of it. Call for a free estimate. Be the envy of your neighbors. Top dress your lawn like the pros with topdressing.com.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it work. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
My Gate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any 2 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
The Golf Club of Southampton is gearing up for brand new greens and a lot more, and now's your chance to save on membership before the fee increase. Take advantage of a $1,000 savings if you join before the work starts in late April and before the initiation fee goes up. It's a great deal, plus $500 additionally in Pro Shop credit. Don't miss out. All the details are at golfsouthampton.com. Become a member now and save big. The course is in great shape, so head on out to the Golf Club of Southampton. Call 287-PLAY and get on the tee.
Hey there, ET here with 1010XL. And here's a little how to be cool secret. No need to wait for an anniversary or a birthday. I just simply dial up Kuhn Flowers and send someone something special for absolutely no reason. It's really fun, and I can do it online at KuhnFlowers.com.
The price of gold is soaring and the price of silver is near record highs. If you got gold or silver just laying around, Estates Roadshow wants it. Broken chains, old rings, coins, watches, diamonds, vintage jewelry. If it's valuable, they're buying it. No appointment needed, just walk in. Get a free appraisal and walk out with cash. They're also buying pre-1964 silver coins, flatware, sterling silverware stamped 925. They're buying coin collections, gold, silver, foreign, and domestic. Plus, they've been in business over 35 years with thousands of happy customers. Licensed, bonded, state-certified scales, highest tech equipment, employees with GIA certification. The Estates Roadshow is happening in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance, Sunday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more info, call Marshall at 609-781-6559 or go to estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming events.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Everything you need to know about the Jaguars today on 1010XL.
All right, down the stretch for Jaguars today, this morning. A little bit more draft tomorrow with some other goodies in the pipeline for you. Tune in and find out what those are. Fernando Mendoza goes number 1. What a shock. Infield Yates, 2-round mock. The only reason we're bringing it up here, Tony. And again, David Bailey, Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles go the next 3 picks. Caleb Downs to the Giants, Carnell Tate to the Browns, and there goes Jeremiah Love to the Commanders. Good. Send him to the NFC as far as I'm concerned. Ruben Bain goes 8th in this mock. Just looking for names here in the first round that we have seen fall to the Jags in other circumstances. R. Mason Thomas, who we discussed with Josh Edwards, goes 20th in this mock from Field Yates, the pass rusher from Oklahoma. Look, Ty Simpson makes it down to 26, and Arizona takes him at that spot. They really don't have a long-term plan at quarterback. No. Interesting. Peter Woods goes to the Texans here, Tony. And Field Yates says he might have the biggest range of any of the prospects discussed so far. He said, ardent believers feel he can go in the top 15. Skeptics don't see him as first-round talent. And he had 5 sacks in the last 2 years combined. You know, I do like to see a little production, you know, to go with the measurables for sure. You pointed out as we were going through this on the break that the Colts take Caleb Banks at pick 47. Right there, Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt going at 46. That's been an RJ staple. Danny Dennis Sutton out of Penn State goes at 49. We've used him in our mocks a good bit. Gabe Jacobs at Illinois, same thing. Lee Hunter goes 4 picks before the Jags selection, the defensive tackle out of Texas Tech. His teammate is there for the Jags, Jacob Rodriguez, but they pass him up for Kieron Crawford, an edge out of Auburn. And says Crawford brings serious juice, played just 1 year of high school football before joining Arkansas State, so he's still coming into his own as a player. Electric, turning the corner on offensive tackles was more impactful than Keldrick Falk for Auburn in 2025. Falk is seen in most mocks, I think, as a first-rounder for that. I don't know. Look, it could work out. Who knows who's going to be there at 56? I'm not going to get worried about a mock draft here while we're still in March, but if Jacob Rodriguez is there and the Jags are currently in the same depth chart situation that they're at linebacker, and they pass him, I will just say this, Kieron Crawford, don't take the same path to ascendancy that Kayvon Chason did.
Yeah.
Right? We don't need to see it in 4 or 5 years from now.
And I do wonder with these kind of mock drafts, right, how committed, you know, the person who's doing the draft does. They get to an idea, right, for a team.
Yeah.
Right? And you look at the write-up there for Chicago, who takes Rodriguez next, right there at 57. And the write-up is basically like, look at all they got done in the offseason. This would be kind of the icing on the cake. Like, they've nailed it. And it's like, well, you know, the Jaguars lost.
We kind of lost a very important linebacker as well. They lost Tremaine Edmonds, and that's the point that Field Yates makes. But
like, and I get it. And so, like, I don't know. I'm with you. Like, if this was the option they had right there and they went with Crawford, I'd be like, all right.
Yeah, I mean, look, it could work. We're not the scouting department, but I would feel better about Rodriguez in that scenario. Look, they could both be long gone by the time the Jaguars are taken, so no sense in getting all worked up. One thing, Jayshon Barham out of Michigan is a guy that Josh Edwards had mentioned in his mock, specifically for the Jags as kind of an upside play at 56. He went 63 in this mock to the New England Patriots. Anyway, it's getting to be that time where they're coming more and more frequently. That will just about do it for us today. Thanks for playing along with the Tuesday Top 5. Let's welcome it XL Primetime.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hello, Joe C.
What is happening?
What's up? Tuesday Top 5 today. Okay, got 5 guys who are extension eligible for the Jags. Just tell me who's at the top of the list for you. Who do you prioritize? Who do you want to see? Who you be most excited about hearing the news?
Parker Washington.
Over Travon, over Anton, over Antonio Johnson, over Brenton Strange.
It really is kind of funny, and you could come up with an argument for all the other guys you just said, because the second and third round picks, or Brenton Strange, third and fifth round pick.
Brenton was the second.
He was second.
Parker was a fifth.
Fifth. I believe he might have been fifth. Anyway,
yeah.
But you bring up some good ones.
Maybe
Anton Harrison, first rounder. How expensive is he going to be? Has he been as productive as he needs to be? Travon, has he been as productive as he needs to be? So extension wise, I'm just looking at the most
sixth for Parker.
Sixth?
Yeah, sixth rounder.
So I'm looking, and that right there also does it, okay? Because he's played way above where he was drafted. Give Balky credit for snagging him late and all that kind of stuff. But I just feel like, Anton, you got a question mark or two surrounding him, a question mark or two surrounding Travon.
What are the question marks surrounding Travon?
He doesn't get to the quarterback enough.
It's interesting, right? We look at it that way, right? Because he only had 3.5 this year.
Yeah.
He's had 2 double-digit sack years, right? Boye Mafe has never had one. He just got $20 million on the open market.
Right, and so you're going to have to pay whoever it is that you view can get to the quarterback, that type of dollar, and that guy obviously gets the street cred of making it to the Super Bowl.
I get that, but I just look at it like that. And look, there's no right or wrong answer. I'm just, defending my
We all
position.
had different answers.
We did. I had Travon at the top because even with Josh Hines down and Travon, what do we list as one of the biggest needs in this team? Edge.
Right. So,
need more edge.
But I do feel like that's the answer. Like, how can you put him at the top of the list if your answer is still, what do we need more of?
Because
edge.
You always need edge.
True.
I mean, Travon's a really good player. If you lost Parker, your top 3 receivers would be Jacoby Myers, Brian Thomas, and Travis Hunter. But I think
I'm putting Travis on the defensive side of the ball.
You are
right
now.
Yeah. Well,
because you have Parker right now.
And I did it in the very beginning. Like, Coach Campbell and I were very consistent.
That's fine.
I would have played him on that side of the ball and then experimented on the offense. But they didn't do that.
That's where they find themselves now because they've got that depth. A year from now could be complete opposite
100%.
direction.
I just know that one of the most important positions is getting the quarterback on the ground. Whoever is in charge of that is usually the rush end. And Travon Walker has not done. He was hurt this year. He played hard, but he has not done enough.
I would say his productivity is a lot better than what a lot of guys are getting a lot of money for. Like,
sure, I get that. Jackson Smith and Jig was making twice as much as Jacoby because he does twice as much. But Travon Walker.
I'm not saying Travon's getting 45, but
where he hasn't done as much.
Who do you think gets more on the open market between those two? I think Travon all day. Not even close, I don't think.
Well, I guess I'm comparing Aiden Hutchinson's already gotten a deal,
right?
Based on that's the timeline that I'm watching.
But if right now, if you made Travon Walker a free agent and Parker Washington a free agent at the beginning of free agency, when everyone had their money,
that position will draw more money.
Way more.
Yeah, totally get it. But it doesn't mean I'm making him a priority over the other.
I got you. That's fine. It's a fun thing to discuss, and that's what we spent today doing, or a large portion. What's coming up?
We're going to do our kind of draft countdown. We're going to take every position with our XLP Big Three, top 3 guys drafted in the special teams department, because I call Duval special teams capital of the world. So that's where we're starting.
All right.
Okay.
We get weapons here. We certainly do. All right, Joey, have a good show.
Thank you.
There you go. XLP coming your way for the next couple hours. That'll do it for us today. Thanks for playing along. Thanks to Josh Edwards of CBS Sports, for Tony Smith and RJ Saunders. I'm Mike Dempsey. More Jaguars today, tomorrow from 10 to noon on 1010XL.